Hey there everyone, Steamed Rice here with another game for Sealcast, this time again for the category of most innovative build. It will be pRoCobo against, in spawning as the blue Protoss in the bottom right position of Tal'Darim Altar against Cuong spawning as the purple Zerg in the bottom left. Now again, this is for the most innovative build. Both players do come out strong with pretty innovative builds, but ultimately it will be the Zerg player who we will be seeing a lot of innovation from in this game. Now pRoCobo does build a pylon at the front, signaling either a Nexus first or a Forge fast expand, excuse me. Again, these games were played before the patch, as you can see from this position still being here on Tal'Darim Altar. It is, the slow ground has been removed in the post 1.4 world. We do see this continued construction out of Cuong. pRoCobo scouting the wrong way across map, but you know, we'll see what happens. And it will be a Forge first for pRoCobo into a Nexus expansion. Now, for Zergs, there are a lot of things you can do against that sort of play. One of them is the Nest-T style, float an Overlord to the front of the base and just start building spine crawlers out of range of the photon cannons and then rushing in after you destroy the front of the wall. But that isn't what we're going to be seeing out of Cuong. Another potential response to a Forge fast expand from the Zerg player is, of course, to take a fast third. But again, that's not going to be what we're going to be seeing out of the Zerg player. What we will be seeing is something extremely exciting. I do see the extractor finishing now, immediately moving harvesters in to gather that gas. And we'll likely be seeing an expansion right off the bat as well. So both players settling down into a potentially long macro game. Spawning pool almost finishing up. Seeing a drone being sent to expand fairly soon. Do see a hatchery. We do see the queen finishing, and the Nexus does go down for pRoCobo. He will be wanting to finish off this wall. Does build another pylon so that he doesn't get Artosis pylon later on. We're going to be followed up with a gateway and a cybernetics core here and here to do a pretty good. No, he's going to go for a cannon first. So that's very reasonable, seeing the spawning pool that was built by Cuong. But yeah, he's just going to send out a couple of Zerglings to make sure that there's no pylon here at the natural, and a Roach Warren going down for Cuong, probably to punish the fast expansion from his opponent. Gateway going down here, and another 3x3 building will complete the wall off here for pRoCobo. Now the Roach attack is fairly scary out of a Zerg player against a Forge fast expansion, and two probes now in Cuong's base, and they're going to see the Roach Warren. They does see the first Roach, so immediately should be signals a bust, especially without an expansion yet for the Zerg player. The 5-minute mark, no expansion. It's a very strange situation for the Zerg player to be in. We do see in the production tab a lot of Roaches going down, and another 2 cannons on the way in the unit counting station. 16 drones, 21 probes. So pRoCobo taking extremely fast early lead here with this fast expansion. Cybernetics core will finish that wall off as Cuong starts his move across the map towards pRoCobo's base. Now, you're probably asking, well, what's innovative about this right now? There's nothing really innovative yet, but we will see that there will be some pretty cool stuff out of our Zerg player in this game. Just gonna wait for this to continue, and the Roaches do come up, and they're going to be repelled fairly easily. That is 5 photon cannons here out of pRoCobo. Cuong is just gonna do a little poke and immediately turns around. There's not much he can do. He can stay here, a bit of pressure, but no, with this many cannons, there's really not much he can do, so he's just going to turn around and go home. And with this, we do see that pRoCobo is now in an extremely strong position relative to his opponent. Counting station 29 probes to 22 drones, and no expansion even started yet for Cuong, and this is not the sort of position that he wants to be in as a Zerg player in this situation. Do you see here? And this is the innovation here, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Nidus network. So what's the best way to attack a Protoss player excuse me, who has relatively slow amounts of units and is relying on a wall at the front of his base to keep himself alive? For a Terran player, the answer would be drops. But for a Zerg player, it's going to be a Nidus network, but pRoCobo, smelling something is wrong, and builds a pylon here to scout for any sort of attack. He has not seen the expansion, he has not seen the Nidus network, and leaving the Overlord here to give the creep for this Nidus network and is extremely smart, and the Nidus worm does start popping out. pRoCobo does see it, in fact, but there's no drone pull yet. He is now pulling his drones, his probes now, and a sentry out as well, but this Nidus network will finish, and the roaches start to pop out, and they're going to be doing a lot of damage. He is going to end up killing this Nidus worm, but these roaches are going to rush up into the Protoss player's base and do as much damage as they possibly can, but there's no real probes back here. He's running his probes in, and he's going to be trying to take out this warp gate. Probe rushing back, but this number of roaches means there's really not much he can do. I mean, even with this attack though, you look at the worker counts, and even though it's a brilliantly executed Nidus worm attack, there's just really not that much that he can do. And yeah, he just takes out the second one that would have brought reinforcements for this attack, and there's just not going to be much left to go on. But he is doing a lot of damage to these probes. He is now even in workers, and he does take out that pylon, so he may be able to throw up a Nidus network later on without having it scouted. He is going to be attacking here though. This little exchange of fires and a pretty good micro from both players, but if we look at the health tab, it's pretty low health roaches. He does take out a single warp gate, and he's going to get to work on this Nexus, finally throwing down his expansion. And more photon cannons going down for pRoCobo, trying to protect from this attack. We do see he is half of his opponent's food count. Just continue to pick away at this assimilator, and he'll probably get to work on the Nexus as soon as he's able, and another Nidus worm going down now. pRoCobo's moving on the side to see what's up, and more roaches popping in. This is really punishing pRoCobo for his lack of units and late extra gateways. These roaches are going to pick off these stalkers, and it will be huge, extremely cool play out of our Zerg player, but an excellent force field does block it off. And yeah, there's not much you can do. He's fighting in range of these cannons. I'm not sure if that's the best idea in the world. Yeah, he does turn around again, and we do see him now droning up. He will probably try and take out this Nexus, and there's really not much that pRoCobo can do against this. He will take out this Nidus one, but this is an extremely good use of the Nidus one to punish pRoCobo for such a fast expansion. But with the Nidus one dead, these roaches are now stranded in the base of pRoCobo, and Cuong will have to try and work some magic with them at home. The interesting thing about this build is, yes, it's doing a lot of damage. Yes, he has taken out the Nexus. Yes, it has enabled him to be back on parity, if not ahead in workers compared to his opponent. But most importantly, what it is doing is that it's allowing him to drone up. Even if he's not killing probes, he's still managing to get back into this game. And it's just keeping the Protoss player in his base. You do see, and that means that he can really do what he wants to a certain extent until the game really starts picking up again, and the Protoss is able to move out without worrying about a counterattack of roaches killing his base. And it's reduced, in this case it's worked brilliantly, because it's reduced the Protoss player onto one base against two, which is really what you want as a Zerg player. But he's also restricted his opponent onto 2 Vespene Geysers only, and considering that Protoss is a pretty gas-intensive race, it's really what you want to do against the Protoss players, to deny them that gas income, and this little bit of micro is really playing in pRoCobo's favor, and he's just going to slowly pick away at them. And Cuong has really abandoned these roaches inside his opponent's base. He's not building another Nidus network. He's not really getting anything. The Stargate play from pRoCobo will be deadly if it's not scouted, and you do see that he has no idea that it's going down. He does finally clean up this roach attack. See a third being taken for Cuong. He's in a pretty good position. The food counts are roughly even. If we go to the unit counting station, it is way in front in terms of drones, but very far behind in terms of actual units. Evolution Chamber is going down, and we're pretty interested to see what will be coming out of the Stargate, whether it'll be a Phoenix or a Void. No, it will be a Void Ray. Now that will be able to do quite a bit of damage if it's played right. This one Zergling moving around to see if there's any hidden base, hidden tech, hidden expansions, so that he can confirm that he's in a pretty good position. Another pylon going down now here to prevent any more of that Nidus worming shenanigans. One Overlord back here still could threaten a Nidus worm here, but I don't think we'll see it out of his opponent. One little thing is that he's not really spreading creep. Cuong, he's not really spreading creep in this case, so it will hurt him later on in terms of what he can see, but it's not that big a deal when you're this far in front in workers after that little attack. This one Void Ray will be doing quite a bit of damage. I think he's getting another one, and he may wait for 2, he might wait for 3, but what'll end up happening is he'll just try and doing as much damage as possible with these Void Rays to get back into the game. These units hanging around here to make sure that there's no other attack from the Zerg player. We do see he's getting upgrades galore, +1 carapace, +1 range, roaches, metabolic boost, the whole deal. And we're just going to sit back. That was the most innovative bit of the build, was that extremely interesting Nidus Worm play to get back ahead after a Forge Fast expand from his opponent. But now these two Void Rays are rolling in. They're going to be taking out this Queen, and the lack of creep spread here is really going to hurt Cuong because he can't really get that Queen out in time, and these Void Rays are now getting to work on these roaches, but he's just saying that I'm going to go for an attack. Hydralisk Den on the way. Phoenix lifting up the Queen and just removing it from life. These Spore Crawlers are placed too far away. He may lose that hatchery. Be interested to see if pRoCobo, he does not know about the third hatchery here. So he probably will think that he's much further ahead than he actually is if he does manage to take it out. This little Phoenix jerking, jiving to see what's going on. But these drones going that way is going to be a huge tell for his opponent. That may be a problem for Cuong. Two Queens here, get to work on these Void Rays, and pulling back. Hydralisk now out. Man, I missed the days when Hydralisks were actually used every single game as a Zerg in Brood War. But anyway, doing quite a bit of damage with these Hydralisks to finish off that Void Ray. Upgrades have finished. I wonder if he will in fact take another base here. He may not, but what I am interested to see is, has he seen this base? No, he has not, but I wouldn't be surprised if he has the intuition. Yes, he did see those drones go up north earlier, so that creep is a dead giveaway. He knows there is a base here now, and he will probably try and do as much damage as he can towards it. This one Queen here, and he's attacking in range of the Spore Crawler. He really does not want to do that. The Void Ray has been repelled successfully. Now more Stalkers, Zealots, Sentries, and Void Ray moving out now. That's looking at like a very scary push against this tiny little army of Cuong. He is desperately building more units, but he has supply blocked himself. Oh, come on. He's going to be building units, trust me. He's building more Overlords though, and that may come back to bite him in the arse. More units coming out now. He's just picking away. Hydralisks do so much damage and do fall so very quickly, taking out the ground Stalker army of his opponent. And will he get away? That Void Ray is on 1 hit point. Hydralisks move so slow off creep. Does get taken out though, and he is going to corner his opponent. Mortal coming out now for pRoCobo, and more gateways on the way. A robotics bay coming down as well. We're likely going to be seeing a Colossi transition after this attack. These Hydralisks are not going to be that great against Colossi. They do burn them to a crisp. These Void